It doesn't matter whether you're into sneakers, music, fashion, or sports, chances are you'll be familiar with Nike. Since its 1964 inception, American-born Nike has seemingly dominated the sneaker and trainer market with an abundance of designs, functional pieces, and clothing styles. But where did it come from and how did it grow into the world's largest footwear company? Discover the captivating journey of Nike, a brand that started as Blue Ribbon Sports in this motivational documentary. Immerse yourself in the history of Nike as we delve into the intertwined biographies of the two remarkable individuals, Phil Knight and Bill Bowerman. Humble beginnings. Our story begins with two men named Bill Bowerman and Phil Knight. Bill Bowerman was a track and field coach at the University of Oregon who reunited with his previous student Phil Knight after he had a brief stint at Stanford University. Bowerman was fascinated with the idea of optimizing athletic footwear and running shoes for performance, and so in turn, he began tinkering with different models after picking up some tricks and tips from a local cobbler. On January 25, 1964, the duo decided to found Blue Ribbon Sports, a Eugene, Oregon-based footwear company which for many years operated out the back of a car at track meets. The company began as a distributor for a range of imported shoes, namely Onitsuka Tiger. Knight was amazed with the quality of Onitsuka Co.'s trainers and found them to be a breath of fresh air compared to the German-dominated sneaker market. While the world was caught up deciding between Puma and Adidas, Phil Knight looked to Onitsuka Tiger in Japan for a new premium running trainer. After a few years of being Onitsuka's sole distributor in the US, a rise in competition led Knight and Bowerman to think about how they would do things differently. The companies drifted away from one another as Blue Ribbon Sports became Nike in 1971 and prepared to launch their own trainer. Bowerman had always created prototype trainers for the athletes he coached. After pulling apart pairs of Onitsuka Tiger running shoes and thinking of ways he would do things differently, he started working on what would become the first ever Nike sneaker. How did Nike get its name? Changing the name of Blue Ribbon Sports to Nike was the idea of the company's first ever employee, Jess Johnson. The brand's iconic swoosh logo had already been designed by Carolyn Davidson, a student at Portland University. However, the company still had no name. Drawing inspiration from the design of the swoosh, Johnson suggested the name Nike, named after the winged Greek goddess of victory. The rest is history. What was the first Nike shoe? The first Nike shoe was nicknamed the Moon Shoe and was made in Bowerman's waffle iron. This waffle sole design came into fruition after Bill Bowerman was eating breakfast and wondering if the grooves in his waffle would work for additional traction when playing sports. After a few test runs of the waffle iron, the waffle trainer was eventually born and found almost immediate success due to its grippy and performance-driven design. This first prototype model was technically the first Nike shoe and sold at Sotheby's for almost $450,000. The first commercial Nike shoe was a variation of the Moon Shoe with a more refined design. The shoe would go on to be called the Nike Waffle Racer and was first handed out to athletes at US track events. Although the Waffle Racer was well designed and a minor success, it did not launch Nike to the same heights as Adidas or Puma just yet. However, a new design did help put them on the right trajectory. The duo found success with a design originally called the Aztec. The name had to be changed due to Adidas having a similarly named sneaker, so to reference history and the fall of the Aztecs, the shoe became the Nike Cortez. The Cortez was a great success after being debuted in the Mexico Games due to its advanced design and technology, and helped Nike on their way to become the sneaker giant we know today. The Cortez has a confusing past, as it was originally designed and produced by Onitsuka Co. before Knight and Bowerman decided to release their own version under the name Nike. When Onitsuka Co. found out about Nike selling the Cortez model, the issue escalated and ended in a court battle. The argument was settled in court, with the judge ruling that both brands could sell their own iteration of the Cortez under their name. Nike's biggest endorsements. The celebrity endorsements Nike has inked have proven even more powerful than its slogan. Nike struck gold by signing athletes like Tiger Woods, Kobe Bryant, and LeBron James in the early stages of their careers. By far the most lucrative endorsement Nike has ever had, both for the company and its sponsor, has been with Michael Jordan. Spotting potential, Nike tried to swoop in for an endorsement from Jordan before the start of his first season with as a pro in 1984. Despite having never worn a pair of Nikes before and harboring hope for a deal with Adidas, Jordan ended up signing on with Nike after a meeting in which they promised the soon-to-be star $500,000 a year for 5 years, 2 die-cast Mercedes automobiles, and shoes customized to his specific requests. The deal proved a smash hit for Nike, with Jordan quickly rising to superstardom and his shoe line, Air Jordans, minting over $100 million in revenue by the end of 1985. Air Jordans continue to be a cash cow for Nike. Despite sales declines in the mid-aughts, the brand still nets the company billions of dollars more than 20 years after Jordan retired from basketball. In 2021, Nike netted $5.1 billion from the line. Jordan pocketed 5% of that, or $255 million that year alone. Swoosh. Nike's biggest controversies. Like most large multinational companies, Nike has faced its fair share of criticisms and controversies, for the most part relating to the environmental and social impacts of the popular sports apparel maker's operations. Colin Kaepernick's Nike sponsorship. On Labor Day of 2018, Nike made a huge splash, tweeting a photo of NFL player Colin Kaepernick as the new face of its brand. The 49ers quarterback had become a lightning rod for controversy after being the first football player to take a knee during the national anthem in protest of police brutality toward Black Americans. He received a mix of support and backlash from the public, with some calling him a hero and others criticizing his actions as un-American. This controversy only intensified when Donald Trump added his own criticism of the protest. 49ers management consequently did not renew Kaepernick's contract, and no other NFL team signed him. Nike initially took some heat for this campaign, but it is largely seen as a smash hit, generating tons of buzz and growing new audiences for the company. After suffering initial losses, Nike had posted $6 billion in gains within a month, even winning an Emmy for its efforts. Environmental concerns. While Nike has taken strides to increase its eco-friendliness, joining the Sustainable Apparel Commission and implementing a number of reusable materials in its clothing, it still has a ways to go. The primary environmental criticism following Nike has been its refusal to eliminate hazardous materials from its supply chain. As pointed out by Greenpeace, this affects everything from factory workers to waterways to consumers. The hazardous chemicals pollute the environment, threaten to poison those who work with them, and allow a potential health risk to persist among users of Nike's apparel. Nike has claimed to be working toward eliminating these toxic chemicals, and it announced a complete phase-out of PFC products in 2021. What's happening with Nike stock in 2024? Nike stock has been seeing red since the beginning of 2024 as the company warned of single-digit revenue declines as it made cost-cutting improvements as well as continued to iron out pandemic-related supply chain snarls. In February 2024, the company announced it would be cutting 1,600 jobs, or 2% of its workforce. Did you enjoy uncovering the secrets behind Nike's branding story, its history of growth, and the strategies that made it a financial powerhouse? This documentary isn't just about Nike, it's a testament to the potential within business success stories. From humble beginnings to revolutionizing athletic footwear, Nike's origin story is a testament to the impact of perseverance and vision.